Lesa holtina pakuli tatlapi akuchatuchina. If you'll excuse me a minute, I'm going to go get some more coffee. I still need something to keep my throat moist. I'll be right back. Okay, I see where 4 of you are with me. I appreciate the time you take to let me know that you're prepared. At the bottom of the page, in English, a relatively small class of words called prepositions or prepositions is used to signify spatial relations between objects. Prepositions are so called because they appear before the noun that are their objects. In other languages, Choctaw among them, these relational words appear after the noun. So they are properly called postpositions. Whichever term is used, these words are used to show relationships, generally in space, and so may be called location words. First example says, Katimma di mapitish pilatok. Katimma tali mapitish pilatok. B. Iti bilinka pit pilalituk. Iti bilinka pit pilalituk. Naniyat katimma ansha. Naniyat katimma ansha. In this, the translation for this sentence, it says, where are those fish? Well, the Choctaw doesn't use the word those, so I've changed that to the, where are the fish? D. Naniyat okota anuka ansha. Naniyat okota anuka ansha. Some locations, I won't go there yet. Look at example A, example B and example D. What I want you to look at is where it talks about the postpositions. We see the word bilinka in example B, bilinka. Bilinka is the word that means near. Iti bilinka, near the tree. Iti bilinka, near the tree. So this is your postposition, bilinka. Location and position words usually go together. Location and position words usually go together to complete this phrase. Iti bilinka says near the tree. Iti bilinka, near the tree. And this is where you see that the postposition is going to follow the noun. And the noun is The noun, excuse me, the noun is the location. The Belinka is going to give you position. The noun iti is your location. Belinka is your postposition word. Iti Belinka, near the tree. Then in example E, you see Okhata Anoka. Anoka is the word that means in or inside. Okhata, the lake. Okhata, the lake. So in this phrase, you have Okhata Anoka, in the lake. Okhata Anoka, in the lake. Okhata being your location. Anoka being the position. Location and position usually go together. Okhata Anoka. Some location words, when they appear without a noun phrase object, may be used with verbs of motion. And this usage is very similar to how it's used in the English. Shonshia kuchahili. Tuk, I'm sorry. Shonshia kuchahili tuk. Some spatial relations in Choctaw are indicated with particles and affixes rather than with freestanding words. Among these is the prefix, the nasal O. We have studied the nasal O as a yes or no question marker, but here it's used in another manner. The nasal O, it can be spelled O-M before P and B, and before vowels it can be O-N. This is going to mean on. We looked at sentences before that says sitting on the house. I think we I can't remember where we had that, but we didn't go over that very well because it wasn't in the lesson. But now we can get an idea of how to use the nasal O, the O-M, or the O-N to show that it means on. We studied the term that means to be located as a temporary position term when we were studying Anta, Ansha, Anshwa. And those were on page 36. This is going to give you an understanding of how this can be used in relationship to what we're studying today. Okay, if those of you who want to reference and study a little bit more on this, you can go to page 140, and it gives you the particle on. It being a prefix, it's not a freestanding form. But there is more on page 140 in the book. The first example here says, Nanta ish on benili. Nanta ish on benili. The O-M used before B. That O has a nasal sound, just as we learned in the writing of nasalization. The first rule says before P and B, nasalization is written as the letter M. On benili. The answer to that question says, Shokbochito ilapan on benili. Do you have any questions on this part? Thank you for responding. Giving you 3 sentences. Isubatukluya chukabilinka impa. Isubatukluya chukabilinka impa. Katahosh abuha anoka iyatuk. Katahosh abuha anoka iyatuk. Ushi katohmehosh kuchapit hilituk. Ushi katohmehosh kuchapit hilituk. Give me your answers in about 10, maybe 15 minutes. I don't know how many of you have made a vocabulary list. It would not hurt for you to have a vocabulary list from all of the words, all of the pages that we have used beginning in chapter 1. Beginning in chapter 1 is the first place where we see the word Choctaw. Choctaw is found on page 11. One of the things that I had suggested you do, and this is to make it a separate, let me see if I'm getting the right book, a separate page, or you can list these in alphabetical order. Something like this. Just make a single page that has all of your vocabulary words on it. This is what I've made from chapter 1. It's got the nouns, just like you see it on the book, all of your adjectives, and make one for every chapter. Or if you don't have that and you don't have it handy, there is a glossary at the back of your book. When you have the time, take a moment to go over these vocabulary words. These are, like I said, Choctaw was in chapter 1. And these are words that are used, they're more commonly used words. So this shouldn't have been that difficult to understand what the word Choctaw means. And like I said, if you're at a loss for words, then there is an English to Choctaw glossary And there's a Choctaw to English glossary in the back of your book. And these are where you're going to find the vocabulary words that are introduced in the chapters that we come to. So we are in chapter 6. Choctaw was in chapter 1. Okay, going over the first three. Isuba tukluya Chukabilinka impa. Chukabilinka is your location, position, phrase. Chukabilinka, near the house. Chukabilinka impa. The two horses. The two horses are eating near the house. The two horses are eating near the house. Number 2. Katahosh abuha anoka iatok. Katahosh, who? Hosh is going to tell you that kata is the subject of the sentence. Abuha anoka. Abuha anoka. This is your location, position, phrase. Abuha anoka. In the room. Or in the room, into the room, inside the room, however you want to do this. Anoka means in or inside, into, in. Abuha anoka, in the room. Katahosh abuha anoka iatok. And if you took this phrase out, katahosh iatok. Katahosh iatok. But you have the phrase abuha anoka. Katahosh abuha anoka iatok. Who went in the room? Who went in the room? 3. Hushi katomehosh kuchapit hilitok. Hushi katomehosh kuchapit hilitok. Here again you see the hosh marker telling you that the subject is hushi katohmi. Katohmi modifies hushi, asking the question, how many? Katohmi asks for a specific number. Katohmi asks for a number. Hushi katohmi hosh is your subject. How many birds? Kucha pithili tok. Kucha pithili is your location, position, phrase. Flew outside. We understand pit is not translated to English. Kucha pithili tok. Flew outside. Flew outside. How many birds flew outside? Naponaklo hashinshi. Okay, mark your page for 54 at some location words, and we'll pick up there with the spatial relations as well. Mark that for Wednesday. We'll pick up there when we come back on Wednesday. Also want to remind you that next week is spring break. 13th through the 17th is spring break. There will be no class on the 24th and the 27th. And I will see you on Wednesday. Wednesday, Machipinsa Lachiki, Yakuki.